What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another late night in the BrewLab with me, Lone Fox, your brewmaster in chief. And tonight in the BrewLab, I'm coming at you with a little bit of a metadata update. It is very early in the season, so there isn't much going on. If you had to, shrink this down to Mythic, there's no one in Mythic, so there's no data. Because this thing gets updated quite frequently, so we'll have to just check it all out from bronze all the way through, and no surprises here, at least as far as I'm concerned. Mono white aggro, Naya humans, the top two decks in the best of one meta, and the popularity and the win rates kind of reflecting each other is hilarious, but very little difference after all. My reason for wanting to show you this is that there's no new brews, and there aren't going to be any. I honestly don't think that there's anything that's going to just suddenly come out of the nowhere and completely warp the meta around it this late in a format. Kamigawa dropped almost about 2 months ago now, and we're about to start spoiler season for Streets of New Capenna, and usually standard at this point, especially on Arena, because of the number of games that can get played, tends to get a little bit stale, and I like to do a bit of checking in with what I brewed during this format, which of those brews performed the best. Are there any ways that I can upgrade those brews, knowing what I've learned along the way? And yeah, that's a long-winded introduction for tonight's brew. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. It's Galvanic Despair, probably my favorite control deck that I managed to put out during the last season. It's a Grixis list featuring a full playset of Invoke Despair and Galvanic Iteration. But I've made some adjustments to, fight the meta that we just saw. There's lots and lots of aggro decks with cheap, low-to-the-ground creatures. So I've taken out, there was this card called Solve the Equation, I believe it was in here originally. Yes, Solve the Equation is the name of the card, and I've realized that I don't really need to go finding stuff. We've got enough card drawn ways of, and anyway, plenty of the stuff is just good enough as it is. We don't need to be like tutoring up exactly what we need. There's plenty of good cards in the deck, so I've just completely gotten rid of that card and replaced it with a full place with 3 copies of Crush the Weak as a little micro sweeper in the early game that will allow us not to get run over by the aggro decks, at which point we can usually get to our burn down the house or our other removal. And it's been working really, really well. It's a strategy that I employ, that I've heard CGB employ as well, sort of early in a new season. Everybody jumps on the aggro decks and start racing to Mythic, your mono whites, your Nayas, etc. I'm going to be instead sitting there with my control deck ready for them and try to prey upon mono white with this brew. So I'll do the usual, so take it from the top, run through the deck left to right, explain why it is that I picked the cards to be in the deck, how it is that they synergize with the other cards in the deck, and then we'll try to jump into some gameplay footage and showcase as many of those playlines and interactions as humanly possible, so that you guys get a real good feel of how the deck is supposed to work, and then we'll jump back in at the end with my final thoughts, potential upgrades, where do I think that Grixis is going with the arrival of the new set, which is of course going to be featuring a Triome in Grixis colors. So we've got a full playset of Fading Hope. Return target creature to its owner's hand. If its mana value is 3 or less, you get to scry 1, which is quite nice. Perfect in a control deck, especially against mono white and all those things. Just stop them from attacking for as long as possible while you build up your resources, at which point we can start doing some stuff which will really damage them. Then we've got a full playset of March of Wretched Sorrow. This is a playline that I did not describe in the first version of this deck because I didn't honestly know that it would work that way until I tested it. Now I can tell you that there's a really nice thing you can do with March of Wretched Sorrow. Let's say you just X is 5, so you're going to be gaining 5 life if you target a creature or a planeswalker. You can Galvanic Iteration the March of Wretched Sorrow. The copy also does 5 damage, and you can gain 10 life that way, quite neatly. I think it's amazing in a control deck to have that much potential life gain. It's brought me straight back up to 20 from like next to nothing many games during testing. It's still one of the brews that's stuck around. As I've told you many times before, I delete my decks when I'm done with them, but I keep around the ones that I like to play off camera, and this one has stuck around because it's just so much fun. Then we've got, of course, a full playset of Expressive Iteration. This alongside Unexpected Windfall are sort of our card advantage engines. They're going to help us churn through the deck, make sure we hit our land drops, put the right cards that we need in hand, all that sort of stuff. Still probably the best 2-drop from Strixhaven, and if I'm not mistaken, the one that has seen the most standard play. Then, before we go to the next one, just for those of you who are not aware of this yet, maybe you're new to the channel or a bit newer to the game, don't play this on turn 2. You want to play this on turn 3. Play it on turn 3 without playing your land first. So then you get to look at the top 3 cards of your library. If you find a land in those, make it sure that it's the third one that you pick. This gets a little bit convoluted. It's like 1 into your hand. So okay, you pick the thing that you don't want to lose or shuffle back into your library. The second one is the one that you're like, I don't really need this right now, goes back into the library. The third one you have to pick is the land, because then that gets exiled and you cast the land this turn as your third land, setting you up, even though you might have a fourth land in hand, to go a fourth land next turn and be very consistent with your land drops. And the cool thing is, by not playing your land at the beginning of turn 3, if you don't find one off of the Expressive Iteration, then you still have a land to play from your hand. Then we've got a full playset of Galvanic Iteration as our first important combo piece for the deck. This is a combo control deck. So good to be copying pretty much everything in this deck. Like the main thing we're trying to copy in the combo is, of course, Invoke Despair. The best is when we can do it 2 times. That's a total of so double copying. So you would get 3 Invoke Despairs, which is a total of 18 life the opponent would lose if they have an empty board state, which is what we're trying to obtain with our sweepers and things like that. But even if it's not an empty board state, then they just lose everything that they had. Enchantment, Planeswalker, creature, boom, 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 and you get to draw a bunch of new cards and continue to apply pressure. So that's the main combo, but the rest of the cards in the deck are obviously fantastic to copy as well. Even something as simple as a Fading Hope, double Fading Hope, as the opponent's attacking and bounce their 2 important creatures back to their hand, you survive to have another turn. Or my favorite and probably the most done thing since the last World Cup is Galvanic Iteration, Unexpected Windfall. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you discard a card. Since the second copy isn't being cast, you don't need to pay the additional cost. So you only need to discard 1 card to draw 4 and make 4 treasure tokens. That obviously sets you up to just pretty much do anything else over the next couple of turns. But also I really like double Galvanic Soul Shatter, double Galvanic Crush the Weak to go do 4 damage instead of 2. So many good things that we can copy with Galvanic Iteration. So, of course, a full play set. Then we've got Soul Shatter to deal with our Goldspan dragons and any other indestructible threats. But it's also quite nice because it does hit Planeswalkers as well, if that's all the opponent's got on board. Oftentimes, that is the case with our, Orzhov. Mega Pirate players. We could, Crush the Weak and get rid of all of their little Spiderling tokens, if it's the Lolth or, whatever. And then Soul Shatter and get rid of the Lolth as well. Fantastic. Unexpected Windfall is our only 4-drop. Don't really need to say much about this. It's just an amazing card draw engine. Love that it's instant speed. So we can do the whole thing I just talked about with the Galvanic during the opponent's end step, that sort of stuff. Which brings us to our 5-drops, where the real juice happens, okay? We've gone for 2 copies of Lier, which is a disgusting card that I would normally never play in the way that it has been played, before Divide by Zero was removed from Standard. I'm just liking the fact that we can recast Invoke Despair from the graveyard. And, all of our spells from the graveyard, of course. It's a fantastic card. Pardon me. It's just disgusting to play against. And so I try to play it as little as possible, because I'm not that much of an ass But in this deck, it just makes perfect sense. Eventually, you top deck her, play her down. We've got the Fading Hopes to save her, and then all of your library, your entire graveyard just becomes castable again, and we can potentially just go for another Invoke Despair or whatever is necessary. Then we've got a full playset of Invoke Despair, which is our main combo piece alongside Galvanic, I've already mentioned. The best sort of thing is to try and copy it as many times as possible. And Galvanic Iteration isn't the only way we have of doing that. We've also got a sneaky one of Jin-Gitaxias, which says that whenever you cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, you copy that spell. So if you could have Jin-Gitaxias in play and then start your Galvanic Iteration, and we've got enough mana to do so, which can often happen with the treasures and everything else that we got going on, you can go Galvanic. It'll get copied by Jin-Gitaxias. Galvanic again with its flashback. Won't get copied, but now that's 2 Galvanics. Sorry, that's already 3 copies of whatever. And then you cast your Invoke Despair and watch the opponent's head explode. We've also got 1 sweeper, of course, needed a sweeper. Burn down the house, alongside Crush the Weak. It's not very much damage, unless you can... Oh my goodness, I beg your pardon. It's been a long day. If you can double Crush the Weak with Galvanic, then it does 4, but it's often not enough, and Burn Down the House really just deals with everything because it hits Planeswalkers as well, and there's almost nothing with more than 5 toughness in the format at the moment. And also I quite like the sneaky alternate win con of just a double Galvanic Iteration and making the Devils instead of going for the 5 damage. And you'd end up making 6 Devils with haste that if they die, deal damage to any target, so you can... expect the opponent not to really want to block those too much, especially late in the game when their life total can be threatened by these little ping, ping, ping. And yeah, I've touched upon Jin-Gitaxias already. I don't think I need to reintroduce him. It's also, of course, great. Like, I read the first part of the text box. That's to do with whenever you cast stuff, but whenever the opponent casts stuff, the first thing they cast gets countered automatically, so that's pretty nice. The mana base I've left the same. It's still like the biggest problem in Grixis right now. Like in general, we don't have triomes, so I'm like having to do these weird things. But it kind of works, so let's leave it at that. When we get the new triome, you'll just automatically put a 4 of that in here, and it's gonna make the deck hell of a lot better. So we've got 1 Hall of the Storm Giants, 1 Hive of the Eye Tyrant, 1 Den of the Bugbear. And 1 of each of the new legendary lands. Takenuma, Otawara, Sokenzan. 1 of each basic, except for 2 swamps, because there's more black things that I need to cast. And then we've got 4 of each of the chill lands and 2 Field of Ruins as usual. That's the Brew Galvanic Despair version 2. Let's jump into some games. Guys, I finally got a new mouse. Those of you who've been following for a while will have seen that piece of junk that I was operating with up until this point, causing so many misplays. Oh. I think I'm going to do some sort of ritual burning tomorrow, or like, I don't know, destroy it with a hammer and throw it in the dustbin. But I'm going to miss it. A lot of adventures and memories, but the thing was just causing misplays all over the place, and we finally got a little upgrade. Nothing special. I've got my gaming mouse still at home in Italy. Yeah, sure. Got to Crush the Weak. Perfect. This is gonna be what I think it is. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, no, when I saw the undo, I should have known it's not... Definitely not what I was thinking. I was already thinking, oh, here comes mono white. Okay. That's a lot of mana. No blue source. It's a landfall. Selesnya landfall. Selesnya scoot swarm. No! Thank goodness the tokens don't increase the What a jerk. Well, this burn down the house is going to feel pretty amazing next. I wonder if that'll get rid of 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that'll get rid of the Ashaya as well. This is going to be amazing. Oh, no. Only by 1 the Ashaya, because she counts as a land herself. Or we can invoke Despair. What a disgusting human being. You disgust me. That's game. That's unfortunately game. Okay, no wait. We've still got him. Still got you. Woo! In the nick, that extra land. Woo! Sorry, Lord Awesome. No scoot swarms. Still no blue, huh? Was that a mistake? That was a huge mistake. Whoops! That's my bad, guys. I should not have done that. That was a huge mistake. Obviously, he'll just sack it in response. Doi. Yes! I was hunting for the Soul Shatter. Bugger off. Off you shall bugger. Okay, that's enough lands now. Thank you. Burning down the house. Burning down the house. Scooby-Doo-Doo-Doo. I'm not too worried about the fact that I'm not holding up a Fading Hope. This deck doesn't play anything that I need to worry about, I don't think. The floodiest of floods. Holy cow. Sure. Let's draw some more cards. That's nice. I was looking for you. March of Otherworldly Light. Does he have any creature lands? No. Nothing with haste. Anyway, we have Fading Hope. Only goes down to 10. How much have I got? While still leaving a Fading Hope up, just in case. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 7 with the cost of the... card itself. Could have actually been a Wandering Emperor there. Sure. What you got? Nice. I want Galvanic. The deck listens. And then we just swing in with the Lair of the Hydra. Down to 1. Oh, baby, that feels so good. I must tell you, that feels so good. When you can bring it back from the edge like that with a control deck. We were down to 2 life at one point there. Alright. On to the next one. So much fun to play. So many things you can do. There's always an out. I love this deck. It's I definitely don't take full credit. I got the idea originally from Mono Black Magic. We're gonna go a little bit shorter tonight, guys. Like I said, I've had a very long day. If the yawns haven't given me away, I do need to get some shut-eye before it gets too late. Otherwise, I'm gonna be destroyed tomorrow. The greatest one. Great. So great. That's a mulligan. A wee bit better in it. Okay. Okay, this is probably CGB's deck. The new mono red mid-range, as he's calling it. It's a Fable of the Mirror Breaker, then I'll know for sure. Okay, he's gonna try to draw a card. Oh, that's a part of the new update. Lier goes away. We take the Field of Ruin. Let's hold up Fading Hope. If it is CGB's deck, there's nothing that we're going to be crushing, weaking with. Probably just discard the Crush the Weak to Unexpected Windfall next turn. Yeah, this is definitely CGB's new mono red mid-range. 100% guaranteed. Can't quite crew. Okay, I'll take a land. I'm gonna hold up this at the opponent's end step. If he doesn't cast anything that I need to be worried about that we can maybe get rid of with March, then I'll Unexpected Windfall. Whoop. No problem. It's just Goldspan Dragons and Atsushis. Hello, Invoke. That's nice. Galvanic off the top now would just be like... Can't ask for everything. So, yeah. Holding up March of the Wretched Sorrow. Deal with a Goldspan. That's probably going to come down this turn. Luckily, there's no Goldspan plus counter spell. It's just Goldspan and bye-bye. 3, 4, yeah. We can deal with a Goldspan. Oh, even better. Maybe I'll just go for the burn down the house instead. Okay, now let's kill the Bank Buster. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Toodle pip, old chap. Off you go. Burn down the house next. Sure, he gets treasures and things, which is not that great, but what can you do? Second Bankbuster enters the battlefield. Ooh, wait. 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Crush the Weak into burn down the house means he doesn't get the death triggers from the Atsushi. Which is amazing. Burning down the house. Burning down the house. Oops. Nice. And that's a big full hand of cards right there. I'm not entirely sure what you could possibly still be digging for that you couldn't have just played right there and then. Okay, here come the dens. One, 2, 3. Yeah, we've got the 4 black mana required to invoke Despair on top of the Galvanic. So first combo light arrived at. Of course, it's much better if you can do it 3 times. Oh, there's double Galvanics. Oh, and another Invoke Despair. Life is so good right now. That's it. That's game. Well, I think we need one more black land. Please, black land off the top. Can't do another one. Maybe I'll just go for like, I don't know. Where's your Fable of the Mirror Breaker? Okay, makes sense. We do have 2 swamps in the deck. We can go tutor up with the Field of Ruin. Let's gain some life. Watch him burn his own card to stop me gaining life. Well, you're dead next turn anyway, so I'm not too bothered. Oops. Should have tapped the treasure. Okay, just make sure. Yes. And then just hold up a Fading Hope. Off you go! So far I've played against this new deck of CGBs twice, and I've beaten it twice. I'm not that impressed, but he did get like a really good record with the thing. But of course the guy is an incredible player. He plays really good Magic. And so, you know, whatever he makes, he's going to pilot it absolutely flawlessly. Ooh, nice. Nice. Alright, I think we're just going to play 3 games tonight. Let's try to end on a win. Like I said, I need some beauty sleep. We drove the car that we rented. I should post a picture on the... I'll post a picture on the community tab tomorrow. We're paying 20 euros a day for this car. Like anywhere else in the world, I would have gotten like a decent new car or whatever. This thing's like the most insane rust bucket I've ever seen. And I drove it down the terrible Kenyan roads all the way to Mombasa, which is the second biggest city in Kenya, I believe. You know, from where we are, it's a good like couple of hours drive. Hour drive. Did a massive shopping, stocked up the fridge with all the stuff we're gonna need, so that we don't have to do that for a while. Okay, mono red. I mean mono white. I'm kind of wishing I'd hanged on to my. Burn down the house hand, the first one I drew. And then, you know, did the shopping, drove all the... Oh, goodness, it's Azorius. Any boast already? I think so. No. Sorry, I can't keep you. I don't have any red lands. Test of Talents. Negate is better, but still very annoying. Azorius Tempo. I need to test this deck out as well. It's been putting up some good scores on various tournaments and things. Maybe he'll flash in something now. Another negate. It's possible. There's definitely the spirit, whatever the intrepid, you know, the blue adversary, whatever hell it's called. I always forget. It's not intrepid. It's the blue adversary. One more red, please. One more red, please. Yes! Oh, yes. Whew. I need answers. Okay. Sort of, kind of. Was risking another negate there, but I took a calculated risk. Here comes the cave. One's not looking too good so far, ladies and gents. Definitely getting our asses handed to us. Let's go for the combo. At least we'll get some cards. You know the meme with Robert Downey Jr. Good pick, I guess. I'm gonna go with Jin-Gitaxias being probably the better option for me there. Let's try find some removal for the Spellbinder before we go with Jin. Perfect! Although, you can flash in this guy. That's why I kept a second copy. That's 6 damage. No, we lose. Because then he'll attack with the cave. Okay, no, wait. 3, 6. We'll go down to 2. Let's foretell this in case he's got another elite spellbinder. But I have a feeling he'll just go 3 and 6. Which is, yeah, I think we've lost this one, guys. I don't know what I'm going to do to get out of this one. Okay, we have to hold up the Fading Hope. And if he's got a counter spell, the game's over. Wait for him to attack. Then he can't use the mana from the cave for a counter. angling on. I need my life gain card. The March of Otherworldly Light, is it? No, of Wretched Sorrow, sorry. Nice, nice, nice. Galvanic into Windfall. We don't need the Jin now. It's not the real card we're looking for in this deck. I mean, against this matchup, I don't think. That's more like it. Bouncy, bouncy things. Very nice. There's no way I'm attacking into a Wandering Emperor. You think I'm stupid? 1, 2, 3, 4 plus 8. So I think we can maybe also just Expressive Iteration. Nice. Have we played a land already? Yes, we have. Field of Ruin would have been amazing there. But it just would have been exiled. Sure. No problem. Sure, we still got it. Yeah. We still got it. Now we don't. Okay, so if we go this plus that is 5 mana burnt. We have a total available of 6. Which doesn't leave us enough for Otawara. Okay. I think I have a way. We can block the land guy. We just need to deal with the flyer. Oh no. I thought this would come back, reducing the cost of the Otawara. That was my plan. Some fading hopes. One. Good game. Well played, opponent. Well played. Well played. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Almost went undefeated. Very nice Azorius tempoed build there. Very difficult to pilot. The opponent did a very great job. Polite clap. But that's going to be it for tonight's video. We have also reached the 45-minute mark. So I will see you all tomorrow for some fresh brews. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until tomorrow, this is Lone Fox from the BrewLab, signing out. Peace, y'all.